Welcome, everybody. It's RootsTech Connect 2021, and this episode of Your Pennsylvania Ancestors is all about that event, particularly in terms of Pennsylvania research. So this is going to be a short, quick episode. If you're like me, you want to watch that main stage today, get inspired, really connect with others from around the world through RootsTech. So let's go. RootsTech Connect is put on by Family Search, and it's really meant for the members of the Church of Latter-day Saints, but they make it open to everyone. And if you are at all interested in genealogy or family history, this free event is something you don't want to miss. You need a Family Search account that's free to set up, and I encourage you to upload your family information, get back to at least your grandparents or great-grandparents, and start connecting with those cousins. I uploaded my GEDCOM for the first time, I'm embarrassed to say, just a week ago into Family Search, and I actually connected with some fourth cousins, ones that are still living in Europe, and my family members were, in most cases, the only family member from that family that traveled over to Pennsylvania or the United States in general. And it's fun. It was so fun to chat with these folks through the Family Search Messenger app. I got to get a little bit of backstory about my ancestors' family and the towns that they lived in. And that ability to message your cousins through the Family Search capabilities during RootsTech is only for February 24th, 25th, and 26th. So hurry up. I'm releasing this episode on February 25th. If you're not connecting with cousins, great opportunity to do it. You have another 24 or 36 hours, so you can hop on it. If you need help, shoot me a message at paancestors.com. Once you have that Family Search account set up and you're messaging cousins and waiting for the replies, be sure to check out the main stage events that are going on. These are speakers from a variety of backgrounds meant to inspire you to keep pursuing that family history and really give you some energy and vision for what it means to be a family historian. These presentations are always so great every year. Some are funny, some are sad. They're just very human, so check those out. And then what's going to be available to us for another whole year is what I'm going to tell you about today. I'm going to give you some quick screenshots. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to love this, of 4 sessions that you don't want to miss if you're doing Pennsylvania research. So here's the ones for Pennsylvania to check out. Now, to search for the sessions, go to the session tab and then be sure to type in what you want. And in this case, we're going to type in Pennsylvania. The first comes up here is Lee Arnold with the Historical Society of Pennsylvania. He actually is in the building, which is nice to see, and is giving you an overview of the resources that they have there. So when they reopen after the pandemic, you'll be able to know exactly what to get. You'll also want to check out the episode with Lee Arnold, episode 2 of this podcast, the Historical Society of Pennsylvania. It's a very fun episode where he goes into the resources at the Historical Society of Pennsylvania. It's fun that in this RootsTech session, you actually get to see his face, because at the time I wasn't doing videos, so you didn't get to actually see Lee, and he's wonderful. I also provide insider tips as to what's going on at HSP, and they've done some exciting things now during the pandemic. You can check out my newsletter to sign up at my website at paancestors.com, and you'll be able to also get insider tips on what's going on with Pennsylvania's archives and research and genealogy records. Now, on to the other sessions. The second one here is Finding Buried Treasure in the Published Pennsylvania Archives. One of the most confusing things about this state is we have a series of books called the Pennsylvania Archives, and the institution, which preserves a lot of our state records, is called the Pennsylvania State Archive. So there is a set of books published by the archive about the records in the archive, and Elisa Scalise-Powell goes over these in depth. A lot of these are the earliest records of Pennsylvania, so if you can trace your ancestors to before the American Revolution, these are a set of records you certainly want to check out. The originals for these do not exist anymore, so don't expect to go find them somewhere. The original is basically the transcriptions that are in these books. The last one I wanted to point out in terms of Pennsylvania research was this Tracing Descendants, an Essential Strategy by Joshua Taylor. This isn't just about Pennsylvania, but it is a case study on how to use the siblings of your direct ancestor in order to solve genealogical brick walls. You'll want to check that out. Joshua is a great lecturer, and you need strategies sometimes and ways to get around when you're stuck. Particularly in Pennsylvania, it's easy to get stuck. You might want to check out, for Pennsylvania research, is a session on the Moravians. Now, the Moravian records aren't easily found on the major genealogy websites, but they did keep great records. And if your ancestors lived in Pennsylvania, they might have been practicing Moravian. So this session by Lynn Broderick covers both the history of how the Moravians began, as well as what kinds of records they kept. Church records are an underutilized resource for a lot of genealogists. We tend to be in a very secular society now, where a lot of people aren't practicing a religion out publicly, or at least don't identify publicly with a religion. And our ancestors did. So if we're not searching for them through those church records, we're missing an opportunity to make connections, not just in terms of family, but also with their wider community. So that is my quick hit on RootsTech Connect 2021. Imagine that I'm waving to you now from across the exhibit hall, and we passed each other in RootsTech. So let this be your hello and nice to see you this year in this weird world that we live in, where it's all virtual, but the advantage is we get many more sessions and much more opportunity to learn than we would have if we had done it in person. And this is Denise with PA Ancestors, and I hope to meet up with you live and in person at some point when the world returns to normal. But in the meantime, shoot me an email, drop me a message about a session that you attended that you really loved. That'll help me narrow down my choices of what I'm going to be watching from RootsTech besides the 4 that I mentioned. Next week, we're back on the podcast, going back into Pennsylvania culture and history, and I look forward to sharing that with you. And I hope you discover lots of great things about your Pennsylvania ancestors.